Hello. Let me make sure I go live on TikTok as well. Hey, y'all. Hello, everyone. Welcome back or welcome, period. If this is your first time here, I am Jasmine, fractional COO, founder of System, and apparently also podcast host, even if this has been collecting dust for a little bit. Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Okay, so I said I was going to go live today, so I'm going live today. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you also know that I didn't plan out what I was going to talk about today until maybe a little bit ago. This is more so just keeping a promise to myself. Um, yeah, because also if you saw my post the other day, I feel like I've been like hiding a little bit, just a little bit. Um, yeah, because I have been wanting things to be perfect. Like I wanted a new name for this segment. I wanted to have my website done and all the things. I just wanted to pop out, with everything perfect. And, I spent the last 15 months without those things and it ain't stopped nothing. So yeah, I had this thing in Q1 where I'm like, oh, but I just want it to be all done. And then I'm gonna, yeah, yeah. So today actually, I want to talk about um why I'm writing the book and also low key like why it takes so long. If you've ever written a book, I mean, I guess if you know, you know. But yeah, this episode, it doesn't have like a clean format, it doesn't even necessarily have a name yet. Because I was thinking about changing the name, like I said. No fancy graphics. Maybe next week it will, but I decided to just come on here, hit record, and get to it. And yeah, so I want to talk about the book. I want to talk about why I'm writing it, how it's going, and what made me decide that this is what I want to put out into the world right now. So let me start from the beginning, which is actually not the book. It's kind of like just a thing that I see over and over. I, when people ask me what I do, recently I have been saying that I get paid to be in other people's business, which is so interesting because that is the same thing that I used to get in trouble for when I was younger, is being in everybody's business. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It all works out, right? And so, throughout my career, I have been very heavy into structure, very heavy into processes, very into the way things work. If you would have asked me in high school what I was going to be when I grew up, I was going to say, I would have said an engineer, because I just knew that I liked building things. I didn't know at that time that there were many different types of engineers. I just knew I like building things, engineers build things. And then also, too, like they get to use their creativity. So I feel like it was the perfect mix between, you know, building, and I love math. I've always loved like creating things with my hands. So in my mind, being an engineer was like the way to combine these things. Um, and although now, I mean, as time goes on, I guess I still consider myself an engineer because I, create things. But in all the roles that I have been in, it's been a very roundabout way for me getting to this point, which I think is such a great thing because I have so many perspectives. But if you know, I've been a professional athlete, I've worked in merchandising, I've been a teacher, I've worked in big tech, and all of those things seem very different, but all of them really, really, really rely on like operations. They rely on infrastructure if you don't want to be burnt to a crisp, right? Even like when I was a teacher, October, school starts in September, August, whatever, and October is like the month where teachers burn out. Like that's like 2, 3 months in, how we already burnt to a crisp. A lot of the times is because there's not a lot of systems in place. And so if you've been a manager before, um, managing adults, people who are paid to listen to you, by the way, is very different from managing kids, right? Kids are not paid to listen to you. They're not your kids, so there's no incentive for them to listen to you. And they are also aware that the world is moving faster than the classroom. And so, you know, they also have a lot of questions about like, when am I going to use this? And like that gets very quick. So you have to be able to make things not only interesting, but you also have to have a structure, because thinking for 30 to 150 students, depending on what grade you're teaching, it can be extremely taxing. And so, you know, that building systems within education really set the tone for me to be able to transition into tech and have systems like nobody's business. Like I got to tech, I'm like, yo, y'all ain't got a system for this and this. Like that seems so strange to me, but it's different because you can get away with certain things when you're working with adults who are being paid handsomely to perform. And so it kind of, what I found in those spaces is that there weren't very many systems, but people didn't realize that there weren't very many systems until it got really, 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 really bad. Because again, people are being paid to listen to you. And so it can seem like things are going well. And then all of a sudden there's a reorg, right? Big tech. If you ever been in big tech, you done been somewhere for 3 years, you have 7 managers, right? But there's a reorg, and all of a sudden there's like this huge drop off because there was actually no systems, there was no information, there's no, this is how we do things. Everything is like just being built from scratch, right? In the name of innovation. Um, Now that I guess works if you are a multi-million-dollar company. Um, but I work with people who are not there quite yet, right? Who are maybe, trying to go from 5-figure months to 6-figure months, which is amazing when you have a small team, right? There's a lot of technology going on right now that allow you to really build a business and really build it very lean. But the thing is that you still have to know what you're doing, because if not, then you're kind of just doing stuff, right? And you can kind of get yourself into a hole that bigger companies can buy themselves out of. Whereas, if you're a earlier stage business between like 0 to 3 years, you may be getting some motion going, some momentum going, but you can't pay somebody $200,000 to come and fix all the things, right? Like a bigger company can. And so it's important to be able to really understand what's going on. And so as somebody who is paid to be in people's businesses all day, I get to see all of these things, like how people started and where it ended up and why they get stuck now. And so the reason that I started going live and the reason that I started writing this book is because as I've been in all of these businesses, I'm starting to see patterns. I'm starting to see the steps that people are skipping. Um, and like kind of getting themselves into a rough spot later down the line. But if they would have just done this one thing, and honestly, they can still go and do this one thing, it's going to give them a lot more freedom, right? Like it it's difficult when you hear all of this business advice that's like, just go fast, just go fast, just go fast, just go fast. And it's not to say don't go fast, but the skill of what you are delivering to your customers and the skill of running a business are two separate things. And so when it comes to delivering the service to your customers, you might be able to go fast, go fast, go fast. But now we actually have to build the business piece. And it's not that you can't go fast, but you also have to be strategic, because you can't be the house that's on stilts in the ocean. Like eventually that will come crumbling down. um and when that does, I see a lot of founders like blaming themselves, like, oh, I just, it's not, it's just, I just need to do this, or I just need to be less of a control freak, or I just need to delegate more, I just need to. And it's all of these like yes and right, it's a little bit deeper than that. So I wanted to really write this book because I hear from people all the time, oh, I just need to do this, oh, I just need to do that, oh, I just need to do this. Like, we're talking about a business, y'all. This is a very like multifaceted, very complex thing. There's not just one just do this. And when people are selling you a just do this, just buy this, just get this one thing, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. And I know people get frustrated because a lot of times they ask me questions and they're expecting a silver bullet answer. And my answer is almost always, it depends. My answer is always additional questions to build the context in order to make the right decisions. So I decided to write this book because it's time to shift, right? It's time to shift. Not only out of this mindset that business has to be go, 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 that it has to be extremely difficult, that it has to be extremely isolating and all those things, right? It's really going from thinking about business, right? And just like doing business to designing business. And if we're able to shift from just doing business, because the thing is, systems are going to build whether or not you're the one that builds them or not, right? Over time, things will just develop. And so the book is about being able to shift from just doing business to intentionally designing your business so that it actually works for you instead of against you, right? Like some of us have businesses and the businesses are running us ragged, right? Been there, right? I get it, right? And then I get to meet all of these founders and they're in very similar situations. And I'm like, okay, well, how did I get out of this situation? And what do I need to do? And how can I break this down? And tell other people. So that's what I wrote the book for. And it honestly, one of the things that has been like such a delay is like, one, I just want everybody to have the information. I really do. I think that gatekeeping information is heavily like a scarcity mindset. Because at the end of the day, and listen, if you're an entrepreneur, you already know I could give somebody down the street the exact playbook of what I do. And if they don't execute, it doesn't mean anything. Right. And so if you're an entrepreneur, half the reason that you got to where you are is because of your affinity for execution, right? And your affinity for doing, your affinity for getting information and applying, right? And so some people do it, some people don't. The majority of people don't. We know that. That's why most people are not entrepreneurs, right? There's this, oh, AI is gonna make everybody an entrepreneur. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. You don't just wake up and have access to a tool and all of a sudden it changes your being, right? There's something in you as an entrepreneur that makes us like this, right? And so because that's such a small group of people already, I'm like, yo, here's the information and let me spell it out and let me spell it out very clearly so that you can understand like what to do. So yeah, I feel like this book has been brewing for a while. And honestly, I really thought it was going to be easy because coming from an education background, coming from somebody who's done a ton of writing in her past, I'm like, oh, let's knock this book out. Let's knock this book out. It ain't nothing. Right. Yeah. The book knocked me out actually. And there's so many things, that go into, right? Like beyond the fundamentals of writing a book, which, is a whole nother conversation. And at first, when I first started writing, and I first said I was writing, a lot of people were reaching out and like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you writing a book too? Oh yeah, who's your ghostwriter? I'm like, hmm? I'm like, oh no, 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 I'm writing a book. Okay, which AI are you using? I'm like, nah, nah, I'm writing a book. And like at first I was kind of like taken aback, like, what is I didn't know there was a shortcut, right? I didn't know. So for one, I'm also like, whoa, new information. So at first, in my first, and I can't even call it a full first draft because this is maybe like quarter of a draft, right? I'm like, okay, well, I don't necessarily think that I want a ghostwriter, but I'm like, but I guess AI could possibly help. When I tell you it's the worst combination of words put together that I've ever seen in my life. The way that I threw that draft in the trash so quickly, because what? And like, I like, there's just no replacement for me at the end of the day. Like I had to get clear on that and like step into that very quickly because one, I write like I talk. And so I also didn't like, even if I would say like, oh, I want to say something like this, and I would, write it and it would have all my slang and this and that. And then the AI would like take it out and make it very corporate, I guess. Um, and I'm like, yeah, this sucks. But also as I kept writing, I could see why people outsource this because it really is a challenge and it really will stretch you. And it is a very different skill set than even going live every week and all the things. So, anyways, I say all that to say, um, yeah, the book takes long because writing is hard. Um, writing is hard. And so, there are many routes that you can take to do a task faster. I am also a huge fan of AI, right? I think that businesses should absolutely be using AI, but the thing is that AI is only as good as it's just only as good. I'll just say that. Like I at this point, I don't think that there's nothing that AI can write that can sound like me and give me the essence, like still capture my essence, right? It can give the technical perspective, it can give the, whatever, it can give me very textbook things. And I haven't read every textbook, so those things are nice. But at the end of the day, the way that I know how to deliver information is very different from what AI has. And so, yeah, there's a lot of drafting, a lot of drafting. I'm on my third draft right now. I'm committed to not starting over again. Um, because I restarted multiple times. So I'm committed to not starting over this time, but it is a lot to get in. It is a lot to get into a book, and also too, I'm tired of like half information. You know what I mean? Like how we get to, the last 10 pages of the book, and all I'm hearing is that I've gotten 25% of the information. Like, you know what I mean? So my thing is like, you know what? Let me give everything. Excuse me. Let me give everything up front. Let me give all the information. All of it. Go ahead, take it. Cuz like I said, most people there some people are still going to have questions, right? My thing is here, people going to read it and they're going to realize, ah, if I have a question about this, Jasmine is the person I need to come to. Or what they'll say is, I read the book, understood it, put it into my business. And so anybody else who needs this, go to Jasmine, I promise. Right. And so my thing is not to have a thing where, you can't breathe again until I say so. That's kind of weird to me, but I feel like that's a lot of like salesy things, but neither here nor there. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to drop the title just yet. But it is very lover girl coded. And the premise is that, people, I'm seeing a lot of people, oh, I'm rather just go back to a 9 to 5. I'd rather go back to a 9 to 5. Like, you don't hate your business. You just haven't built any trust in it quite yet. And the reason that they don't trust it is not like, it's not because it's not good vibes. It's not the times. It's really the structure. And so you can trust things that you've intentionally designed, right? Not things that are just kind of thrown together. So yeah, let me tell you what the book is actually doing, because it's not a systems book in the way that you might be thinking, because I've read a lot of systems books, and this one's a little bit different. So this book, let's at first talk about like what the book is not. It's not a how-to manual. This is not a list of tools. Um, this is not a, here are the 17 SOPs you need if you want to scale your business to blah, 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 blah in 60 days. It's not that. It's not that, right? Yes, this is my book. Yeah, it's not one of those things. Like if that is what you're looking for, unfortunately, that is not what I wrote. This is not it's not one of those things. This book, I broke it down into two parts, really three, but we'll just talk about the two parts. The first part is about seeing things clearly. Seeing things clearly. Part one, seeing it clearly. right? Seeing what's actually going on. And again, I'm paid to be in people's business. I be in people's businesses all the time, right? I have learned a lot of business lessons through immediate medical intervention. I figured if I just tell you all the things that people are doing and tell you all the things that I've seen go left, I can just route you and like skip all of that. I can skip all of that and just get you to where you need to go. And so the first part is seeing it clearly, and the second part is designing it intentionally. So I've seen so many people, they're like, oh, I have systems, and like it doesn't stick. Um, but there's a lot of reasons why it doesn't stick. A lot of it is because like they're not understanding like the role of a system. They're not understanding how having systems shifts their role away from being the person that's doing the clicking and clacking in their business to maybe the person that's shaking hands and kissing babies, or maybe it's the person that works with one client or their favorite client or whatever. But it is a shift when you start intentionally designing systems, because you may not be the go-to anymore. Because if you have solid systems, if you have self-sustaining systems at that, you don't have to be the person that gets called on every single time. And I don't know about Sean, but I don't want to be needed in that way. I don't want to be needed in that way. There are parts of my business that I still do myself because I want to, right? Business, the whole point of starting a business is, well, for one, to make money, but two, the whole point of that is to be able to have options. If the only way that you can make money is being on 24/7, it's too expensive. The ROI is just not there, right? And so the goal is to be able to have a business where you can pick and choose where you want to be, right? You can pick and choose if you want to go to your clients' events or not. You can pick and choose which clients you want to work with. Sometimes when I get a client who has like a really cool business, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna work with you directly because yeah, that's cool and I want to learn about it. But not like, dang, I have to take every single client. I have to do all these things. I'm trying to juggle 10 things at once, et cetera, et cetera. Like, if that is what you want to do, okay, cool. But if you don't actually want to, then you can afford to intentionally design your business. And so the business, like I said, is very lover girl coded. It's the reason that I chose the love theme is because you really do have a very intimate relationship with your business, and how much you trust it, how safe you feel in it, how you feel that it needs you, that is not separate from your operations. Like those are things that are directly tied to your operational infrastructure, and it is a direct result of how your operations are setting up or are set up. So designing the business right changes this intimate relationship that you have with your business. I did a whole bunch of research on like attachment styles and how they show up in your business, like whether you have an anxious attachment with your business, if you have an avoidant attachment with your business, right? And it may not be your business as a whole. Like I used to be very avoidant when it came to data. I think I posted this on TikTok recently, but if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, you can watch it as well. But I'm trying to avoid being a statistic so bad, right? All the statistics say I'm supposed to be da 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 da. Those don't sound good. So now I'm thinking, oh, data, data sounds scary. Let me just also avoid it in my business as well. So when it came time to make data-driven decisions, for a while I was running for that, right? Running from that, right? Because this is like a very intimate thing. I'm like, avoid it, right? And I remember when I hired my first teammate, I'm like, yeah, what are you doing, what are you doing, what are you doing, what are you doing, right? Very anxious. And so your attachment styles will show up in your business, and how you design your operations will get you closer and closer. I'll see you around. um will get you closer and closer. Hey Tracy, will get you closer and closer to having a secure um attachment to your business. It's super super intimate, super super intimate. So I've been writing this for about 3.5 months now, almost 4. I'm so close to being ready to share it that I wanted to just come out here and say it out loud, so it just stops sitting in the Google Docs. So here is what I want you to do before next week. Hey Josh. Here's what I want you to do before next week. So the book is dropping with pre-sales first. One, because I want to give my inner circle time to read it. There's also some people who like have showed up to all my lives who book a lot of Ask Me Anything sessions. Like I want to give them a copy first and I want to give them time to read it. And so it'll be out for pre-sales very soon. The thing is, let me tell you something about the price. When you buy a hardcover book, what you're buying is the actual materials that are being used. You're buying the printing, the ink, the paper, all that stuff. So I was going back and forth on whether I want you to pay for all of that or if I just want you to pay for the information. And I chose to have you pay for the information. So don't be surprised by the price, because in a regular book, what you're paying for is actually all the shipping and all that stuff, right? So the price is just for the information. So also, when it drops, I am also going to open a membership, mainly because there are so many people who are like, yo, I just have just a quick question. I need to connect with somebody about this, et cetera, et cetera. And so I just want everybody to be in one place. In that community, there'll be office hours for people who want deeper access. So just imagine this, except for way deeper, being able to ask questions to me directly. All the things, right? Office hours, more access, different resources, etc., ways to work with my team and me more directly, but more on that soon. But for now, what I want you to do is I want you to get on the book waitlist. Whatever platform you're on, the link is in my bio. Um, and if you're listening to this and something that I've said today has landed, then that is your sign to get on the book waitlist. That's it. Get on the wait list. You'll know when it drops early. You'll have early access to pre-sales. If you are new here, welcome. This is what we do on this show. We're going to be entering season 3. And we talk about what's actually running your business and how to design it so that it stops running you. Because yeah, no. So next week we officially kick off season 3 with the first real episodes. Maybe I'll have a name, maybe I'll have graphics, but today I just needed to show up and now I have. So don't wait until it's perfect. Just start. That's literally the point of the whole book. So thank you for tuning in. If you tuned in, make sure you make sure you get on the book waitlist, and I'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.